Hey everybody, welcome to this very special episode of Revolutions Per Movie. The holidays are upon us. It's a difficult time. I want to be surrounded by friends and family, and I have two of my favorite people here today. Chaki, how are you today?
It is a lovely Sunday afternoon here in the South, Chris. It is a high of 70, winds at 20 miles per hour, so I'm doing pretty good. I'm practicing my radio man voice. Do you like it?
I love it. And Chaki is my co-pilot with the Urga Music War series, as well as the Midnight Special series we do over on the Patreon. And
Yes.
And I'm also joined with Rachel Lichtman, who has come out of the dark into the light with us today. Rachel has also been part of our rock and roll casting call series. Hi, Rachel. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're going to talk about something that Rachel brought to my attention through the graces of Andy Zachs, correct?
Yes, because he directed me to, there's this great YouTube channel that's called Obsolete Video. And this guy who runs it is really doing the Lord's work in terms of transfers and archival material.
Shout out Obsolete Video.
Well, Obsolete Video is my jam, and we definitely should shout them out, because not only did they transferred what looks like a full, maybe it's a kinescope, I'm not sure, but there are commercials also, which we love, of course, doing a thing. So Andy Zachs was like, "Oh, this just went up," and he told me about it immediately.
And it's the Fifth Dimension special, an Odyssey in the universe of Peter Max, which when you told me about that, I was like, I was a kid who grew up with Peter Max bed sheets and pillowcases. It was such a child's version of psychedelia for me. I even had a coloring book, I believe. And also, Chaki went and saw this played live in LA.
UCLA Film and TV program restored this to all its complete pixels with the anti-littering campaign commercials. I saw this broadcast on a big screen with Florence, Billy, and Marilyn in attendance, and I think Andy Zachs and all those guys in paisley shirts in LA that love this shit were there.
Greg was there, because I know this because I was not in Los Angeles, and Greg texted me the information about this event, and I was like in tears that I couldn't.
Oh yeah, it was magical. He was there with major entertainer Mike, and but I like all the dorks in LA were there. You know what I mean? And but anyway, yeah, I'm well acquainted with this.
Yeah,
special,
okay,
so I'm well equipped to talk about it.
Well, we were talking before we started recording how we kind of need to lead the conversation of this amazing special that was made for CBS by the people who brought it to us. This special was brought to you by the Glass Container Manufacturers Institute Incorporated, the people who make the bottles and jars and make your life a little easier every day. Now, I was looking up research about them, and there are competing Glass Container Manufacturer Institute kind of chapters all over the world. But the great thing about this that I love, and I'm sure, Rachel, this has influenced your work, is I was always obsessed with anything that had a fake band attached to it.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever see Mulligan Stew on PBS?
Yes.
The 4-H children's TV show where it's like a fake band and they sing about fruits and vegetables and a balanced diet. Like, when I was a child, that band was as good to me as the Beatles. Like, I couldn't wait for Mulligan Stew to come on PBS.
Well, this fake band, the Glass Bottle, that gets showcased in this show. That, I mean, first of all, let me just back it up by saying this psychedelic Odyssey with Peter Max, brought to you by the Glass Bottle Container Company of Walla Walla, Washington, or whatever it is literally my career.
Right, exactly.
It's like my career in a nutshell. Okay, like where this intersects or whatever. I found some information on the Glass Bottle. So Dickie Goodman,
yes,
was a novelty record legend. Started the Glass Bottle. Hold on, I have it. as a marketing ploy for Manhattan public relations firm Benton and Bull.
So I'm saying, how dare you guys call the Glass Bottle a fake band? Dickie Goodman put together a good group of kids.
They were
okay,
real. They were a real band. Okay,
Yes.
listen.
What?
Mike Leander co-wrote one of their songs, and like, I mean, it was like a thing that had legs, and they had hits.
They had songs
etc.
like Soda Pop Baby. I mean, come on, you guys.
Yeah.
Wait. So that did they put records out?
Yes,
There's a record
they
out.
did.
There's a record.
So even though they started as an aluminum can and plastic bottle awareness outfit, which
Oh my God.
Among Us, okay, hasn't whatever the auspicious beginnings. I just, they actually sort of grew legs. They're like, they're the monkeys of guys who sound like Johnny Maestro.
Wow.
And you get to witness their beginnings, their humble beginnings, right here as ads in the Fifth Dimension Peter Max Odyssey into Peter Max, whatever it's called, special.
What a glorious time to be a hippie in LA and be a extra in things like this.
Oh my
Because like the band plays and it pulls back and there's like a couple hundred really beautiful looking people like drinking out of bottles.
glass bottle. Let's just
Glass bottle. Thank
For
you.
God's
Right.
sake.
I'm so sorry. Right. I'm sorry. Oh my God. I was going to get struck down. Through glass bottles, people opening up weird jars and eating things in ways I've never seen people use jars before.
yeah, sorry, glass jars.
Glass jars. Thank you so much. That's why you're both here. I just was like, who convinces people to come out and sit on the grass and listen to the glass bottle play? Is that just an LA thing you feel like, Chaki? Like,
It's like, hey man, we're gonna make $20 if we just sit there for this commercial.
Right.
Okay, and it's like that. I've done extra work, whatever the '90s, early 2000s. Like I sat in the audience at Loveline with MTV, Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla
Okay.
for like $40 for like 9 hours. So in the '60s, they were sitting in Griffith Park to make $25 to buy some weed and go to Barney's Beanery or whatever the hell they did. So no, yeah, that's just an LA thing. But it kind of speaks to how early the hippie movement was commodified and just put on TV as commercials, right? That's like it's kind of
Right.
it kind of feels icky in a way. It also feels really good. It's just like everything wonderful in life.
Yes. The band is good.
They're good. Yeah,
They
they're
look
sick.
cool.
So Dickie Goodman, the guy that put this band together, Chris, and Rachel, you know this, he was famous for those records that go like, hey, Frankenstein, it's pretty dark in here. Let the sun shine,
Like
and then they like play
Mr.
clips.
Jaws.
Yeah, like Mr. Jaws. Yeah, that's Dickie Goodman.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Jaws, how you doing? I'm staying alive. Yeah, that's
Funky
Dickie Goodman.
favorites, wacky westerns, all that. Right.
Yeah, he has a lot of arms. He was kind of like an Ed Wood of 60s music in a way, you know what I mean? Like he had his hands in a lot of these LA music pockets. And look at this scam that he got the PR firm to pay him money to put together a hippie band called the Glass Bottle. Amazing hustle, Mr. Goodman.
Wow, Rachel, what else did you find out about this?
I mean, they're pretty much my favorite band next to the Fifth Dimension. I think like Fifth Dimension and then the glass bottle, and then there's like a huge drop off.
But they perform a couple times in this special as 16 millimeter shot commercials. One is in a club. Again, really looks fun. Cool people, beautiful people dancing around while the glass bottle plays on stage. And it's just like different instrumentation, different vocalists. But do you know, like, are these just actors miming it? It was probably studio people, right, that made it, and then they just cast people to sing this in this commercial, right?
As far as I'm concerned, this is the band.
Okay.
I want to believe that this is the band, so just let me believe that, okay? I want to believe that that's
I didn't go following them for an entire summer just to have them be like ringers, okay?
That drummer's hair. It's like one of the most amazing afros into a beard that I've ever seen.
Yeah, zero break. It's very Mungo Jerry coded.
Yes.
I was talking to Chaki about the band that he's going to front for the Browner Corporation
I was
of
born
Golden
for this.
Sands. And
yeah, let's stop for a second and just this. You make Program 4, and it is incredible. There's even a Fifth Dimension crime series that you've made.
The Fifth Dimension Cop Show.
Quinn Martin production.
And that everything you make, I want to see, just like the Glass Bottle Band. It's like, I want a ticket.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, I Program 4 is kind of like a, what if you made something that was like, oops, all the fake advertising bans, you know,
Right.
it's all exploitation, you know, psychsploitation, that type of thing. But the Fifth Dimension, you know, Take the Fifth, as it's called,
Yeah.
Program 4 was not like a massive jump from a lot of the source material. First of all, the Fifth Dimension is a band made for television. Let me just say that.
I totally agree.
They're personable, they're beautiful, they're like, you know, they're gorgeous. The costumes, the costume design is absolutely incredible. And for this special, incredible. The guy who designed their costumes was Boyd Clopton, and for this one too. Um, they're made for TV. The
Yeah.
fact that they did as many specials as they did, as many television appearances as they did, um, I firmly believe that the Fifth Dimension honestly could have saved us all, and it may not be too late. Honestly, the nature of this group, um, they're very spiritual. They're very positive. Their message is love, you know, and I actually really love the Fifth Dimension Traveling Sunshine show, which was later than this one. But that one also just equally as amazing. Also, it's on YouTube if anybody wants to watch
Is that also a variety style show?
it. Style show. It's a little bit more like traveling medicine show with like a wagon wheel story. You know
Mhm.
what I mean, with like that playboy font and everything. But the
Okay.
set design and the stars that come on, it's a lot more, you know, there's none of this Peter Max like conceit that makes it kind of convoluted. It's just really straightforward
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
and beautiful. But Dionne Warwick is on that one. Dionne Warwick, in my view, is so simpatico with the Fifth Dimension. Really a very similar, like, you know, sort of a twin in a way, in terms of having the type of vocal tone that lends itself to uh, the kind of arrangements that they were able to work with, and unlikely collaborations, and then some likely ones. But you know, because I always thought that Dionne Warwick's tone is very almost like, it's almost like a clarinet or something. But you know, to work with like Bacharach and David like that, it's so perfect for arranger. And the Fifth Dimension are the same way. They are an arranger's dream, in terms of how they sound and look.
The event you went to, Chaki, is available online. You sent that to me, and they talk about how amazing their. First of all, they give kudos to Boyd Clopton, who did the costumes, and then, but they also said their arranger was really amazing, and all they did was rehearse, 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 even if they didn't want to rehearse. And then if something was weird, they go over to the piano and try to pitch it. They were obsessed with the blend of their voices, and they took it really seriously. And, you know, the proof is in it, you know, they just are incredible.
Well, yeah, I mean, and in that special, they refer to a lot of the people that they worked with who, I mean, they had a team like the Beatles or something. Like they were, every single person that they worked with was like amazing in their own way.
Right.
Um, and so they name checked like Bones Howe, they name checked Jimmy Webb, Tonight, Bob Alcivar, you know, these people who worked with artists that were across the board, whether like Bob Alcivar did the, you know, Sandpipers Association stuff, and then earlier had done Julie London, later did Tom Waits, worked with Tom Waits, you know,
Wow.
all over the map. And the thing that all of this sort of, you know, some of the people they worked with may not have seemed very likely, but like, I think it was Flo mentions Mark Gordon, their manager, who brought sort of an unlikely element in, connected them with Jimmy Webb at the start, for Up and Up, and kind of kept them outside the box. I think she said it was his idea to do this special with Peter Max, which is interesting to have somebody like pushing your career in a way that was like so perfect for them because they are this kind of like universal, blood donor of a group. And they say they're very adamant, like it's all about love. Music is music. Like it shows in the way that they were able to cross racial boundaries and all of that. Um, and that's why I think that they're so special and so unique, as well as being just like incredible, obviously, you know.
And I mean, they're all incredible, but I mean, come on, Billy and Marilyn are the stars. Let's get real. And they were very lucky to have those two in that in that group. And even, I didn't Fifth Dimension by the time I was a little kid. They were long gone, and those songs were just here and there. But Marilyn McCoo lit up my TV screen as the host of Solid Gold when I was a little kid, and it's still her beauty and kindness and positivity shined even then in the 80s, I must say. And do you guys have a similar experience watching Solid Gold?
Absolutely. Yeah. Give me
Yeah.
anything that was on that was like gonna pass time. Because I was like,
Right.
I was a
Well, yeah.
child.
Well,
I
it's
was
funny. Like, everyone just had to watch this. There's like nothing
Right.
else on TV. This is during the Jim Neighbors hour, for God's sake. But Program 4, Rachel, one thing about it is that it is you. You are up there. Everything Program 4 is just
Yes.
you. So we know your aesthetic very well. So you must have just loved this thing the first time you saw it, right?
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on. It must have really spoke to you.
Absolutely. It's incredible. We were talking before, I was talking to Chris about, because we love the Bee Gees Idea special.
Yeah.
We talked about it the last time I was on.
I don't know that one. I don't know.
Oh, it's the high watermark for me
Okay.
for a visual identity made for television. It's shot on film. The
Wow.
sets are changing constantly.
Pilar, who is a different, like, Peter Max era, like, artist, beautiful, brilliant.
Who is the artist?
Guy Pilar.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So like every line of a verse has a different visual identity. That's how quickly they're moving in the set on the Bee Gees thing. They're changing things out all the time. And the amount of work and setup and lighting and framing and concept and editing and storyboarding is tight. And I love it so much. I played it in the video store too much. I loved it.
I'm going to watch that today. Thank you for just real quick, just an aside there. So Dickie Goodman's Glass Bottle, which did release 2 records, one in 1970 and one in 1972, and they have 13 singles that you can buy. You can get a copy of their debut album that's out on Avco Embassy, starting at about $2 in the US, and you could get a mint sealed version for $175. So $175. You can get that Glass Bottle record, Pete.
Oh, nice. Is it made out of glass bottle vinyl?
No, it is not. They didn't have gimmicks like that back then.
Damn it. Well, record store day.
I know.
Missed
opportunity, Mr. Goodman. Missed opportunity.
So this special is also really interesting because do you know who John Moffat is, who directed this?
I've seen that name a million times going up on credits.
He did everything from Mr. Show to like Soupy Sales. Like over decades, he was just like the go-to television guy. Lots of variety specials, Helen Reddy and Captain Tennille in Hawaii, and Rick Springfield, Live and Kick in '82. So I think it's really fascinating that he ended up in the Bob and David world, where it's like, we have like different characters and sets and people churning through this thing in half an hour,
Yeah.
He's a great director, but you know what? You know why he was so great for this is because, well, first of all, the whole thing is an Ed Sullivan production. He was such a huge supporter of the Fifth Dimension.
Yes.
And they were on his show a lot. He dedicated like chunks of his show to them. I believe like an entire show, maybe. Anyway, he was the director for the Ed Sullivan show.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. Also, this was filmed in Studio 8H in New York.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, where
I didn't know that.
SNL is now, yes.
Oh, so this was, I just assumed it was Hollywood.
It's not Burbank, and it doesn't feel like Burbank. And I kind of wonder how different this would be if this was in Burbank.
Oh, wow.
But it's good. It's good. It has a New York feel to it. Peter Max,
Yeah.
High art, baby. High
Like,
society.
how would you describe Peter Max's art to somebody who hasn't seen it?
Cartoony. But I it's just so it's the kind of art that's so ingrained in our consciousness through it just being everywhere. It's very comforting for me.
Funny thing is, like, anybody can say, like, where art and commerce meet, just like where hip and square meet. This is
Yeah.
lines were really blurred. But the thing is, you're like, and it's on a spectrum. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's more like, quote unquote, like legit. You know what I mean? But that's what I love so much about this era in particular, um, is that all of it to me has value. All of it to me has artistry involved. So whether you're Peter Max and like, and you do sort of like a pop art and it's very commercialized, and it's your name is on all kinds of stuff. My dad has a Peter Max tie that I've inherited.
All my parents' friends had posters of Peter Max in the bathroom and shit like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah.
All my parents have. But Rachel,
Mhm.
how do you feel about Peter Max as a character in this special? Because he makes appearances in a very Doug Henning-esque way. If you ask me, he's like, hey,
That is
and he has a
totally
mustache and
right. It's very Doug Henning. He's
yes,
got that energy of like magic right over there. Like
Yeah.
he has like a sparkle feature or something. But the way that they shoot him is very funny. Like when you first see him, he's like in the audience sketching a balloon.
oh yeah, the balloon.
Like, oh, I'm so inspired because basically the special starts out very sort of traditional show business. It's like the fifth dimension on stage and it's
Yeah.
ruffles and velvet like they normally do.
And they're killing it. They're doing like a gospel number.
They're
It's
doing
amazing.
And an orchestra pit, too.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's very classic TV, classic variety. And then they show Peter Max and he's in the audience and he's sketching a balloon like, hey, this gives me an idea. And now we're gonna see Peter Max's vision of this. And then every time they kind of cut to him, it's like it's a little awkward. You can tell he's not like the greatest on camera, but it's it's very, yeah, it's Doug Henning, you know, kind of almost Slim Goodbody coding.
Yeah, but, it's kind of look, it's expecting a lot of people. Like, okay, the Fifth Dimension, they sing so good, and they're expected to be funny and act
Yeah.
and do all this. And now they're expecting the famous artist to act and have like emotion on camera. That's a lot to ask of people.
It's a
Like,
lot, yeah.
that's what I
Well,
think.
and also it didn't help that the majority of this script is not very great, I think, at times.
Terrible. You have
No.
no idea what's going on. So yeah, to your point about like expecting people to act, like when you do that, so on the spectrum that I mentioned, when you have this kind of conceit where it's like it's a psychedelic world of magic and now we have to have a story. What do we want? Jokes about locks. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So the guys who wrote this, Phil Hahn and Jack Hanrahan, right? So
Yes.
laughing, get smart, but also like Hanna-Barbera. And I think it's kind of, I think they tried to give it like a laughing kind of thing, but it
Totally.
has a narrative somewhere in there. I know they rescue a princess who is Joey Heatherton, who is
Yes.
full blown Serta sleeper like mode. Like she is right on it, great dancer. She's amazing. But
It's
it's
amazing.
flower and they have all these flower puns. So you've got like just in even the one scene, you've got, she's supposed to be dressed in this big flower costume. Like that's psychedelic. And then yet the writing is really bad. And then it's really convoluted. So you don't actually know. It's really hard to follow what is happening. So it doesn't work as a narrative.
But don't you think these guys, what are their names? These guys that wrote this, they're responsible for so much mediocre, middling, not funny shit that we've sat through in our lives. Hanna-Barbera cartoons have not aged very well. But like most of these are miserable. These variety shows, you know what? And this one just stands out a little bit. It ekes out a little bit. What are you gonna say, Chris?
I just think that also Phil and Jack, they were writing with a cocktail in mind. You know what I mean? That was the culture, it feels like, of somebody writing this. This is not somebody who is probably scared of weed, scared of acid. It just feels like somebody who, like, this is a really straight person's view of psychedelia and what happens in a world that's kind of trippy. That's what I take from it. And so the jokes to
Yes.
me are not they're they there's really they just don't cut through because they're just so limited in terms of experience. I feel like it's just
You described how laughing feels to me too, by the way. Okay, have you tried to sit through it? I know you probably have, Rachel. You sat through a lot of laughing, but the jokes are very bad. Artie Johnson. There's a reason why no one talks about Artie Johnson anymore. I think
I'm sorry.
he's not one of the greats. No, but
He's the worst.
yeah. But that being said, you gotta give credit to these pros like Joey Heatherton and Glenn Campbell, who have this miserable material to work with, and they somehow just deliver. You know what I mean?
Flip Wilson.
Flip Wilson, yeah.
Every time you see Glenn Campbell in this special, he is like a splash of water on the face.
Yes,
thing.
100%. He's what a guy.
Yeah, he's totally game. He's like, what do you want me to do? I'll do. Yeah, sure. I'll do it again. It's got that vibe of like, he's happy to be there.
Well, it's also kind of CBS upfronts. Am I wrong? Like they're sort of cramped.
Right.
A lot of CBS stars. I mean, the Jim Nabors show that was preempted, I feel bad because I mean, he's about to feel the pinch of the great rural purge that's coming down the pike. Anyway, anything with a tree is going to go. And he's like, golly, I'm trying to figure out why the show's been canceled.
I thought that was funny.
It is funny. It was like, again, splash of cold water. Like, the professionals that come in, and Glenn Campbell was one of them. Artie Johnson was not one of them. But then, they have Flip Wilson on there. And then there's a couple of, Flip Wilson has a more substantial part. There are a couple of cameos.
Well, there's this beautiful Black woman on it. Her name's Geraldine. I don't know. She was so awesome. Who is that?
20 minutes of this thing. Like, I think that Geraldine had a different agent than Flip Wilson had.
Totally. Yes, it's a Geraldine special featuring the Fifth Dimension.
We get a little Liberace in there.
Like, I want more Liberace. That would have been so great. But no one really nails. It's so funny. It is so, what we were saying earlier about, like, it's almost immediately folding in this, like, idea of, like, psychedelia.
Yeah.
In this expanded way is, like, amazing. Like, how quickly that, I mean, we discussed that when we talked about the Hollywood Palace or whatever, and I mentioned the idea of, like, Esquire magazine doing articles about, like, hey guys, free love, okay, you might want to get in on this. Like,
right, yeah. Hey,
oh, that sounds good.
Flash on some aqua velva and get out, go pick up a hitchhiker, okay?
Right.
They're giving it away. Anyway,
Peter Lawford.
yeah. And so then this kind of show, it's going to be this amazing, like, crossroads of all of it. So yeah, the sets were incredible. Let's talk about what's great about it.
The set pieces are amazing.
I think the directing's great with the set pieces too. They do the job of evolving into one thing or another, and the costume design obviously is amazing. And of course, the Fifth Dimension are great.
The musical, do you like the musical pieces?
Yeah, I do. I think that they're all, again, I think that the other special that I mentioned before is, the Traveling Sunshine, the musical spots are better. It's more musical. It's more music focused.
Yeah.
And those sequences are better. I think they were limited by this conceit. I think they painted themselves into a corner with it. So you can only do so much. So even like the Glenn Campbell segment, it looks okay. I mean, it's okay. The definitely, like, the bigger set pieces were gorgeous. The stuff that's like beautiful Peter Max, I mean, it's almost overload in a weird way. Like, it's so much. It's what it needs to be. It couldn't be more than what it is. It's a Peter Max Odyssey. you know, but I do prefer the set design of that later special. It's much more my thing in terms of the lighting and the set design. It's just like, you know, you can open it up to whatever. In this piece, it was going to be Peter Max all the way. So in that sense, it does turn into this thing where it's like, you know, ice cream for dinner. You
Totally.
know,
Yes,
You can't
yes.
enjoy the spectacle of it anymore because you've just, like you said, it is you've just eaten too much of it, and you can't get the scale of anything anymore. That's what's so interesting about them shooting in New York is because sometimes, you know, you could get a real sense of like, oh, this is a really large set, and they're walking down these striped floors, and there's things flanking them, and then sometimes like with the balloon, you're like, well, how many damn times can they shoot around this balloon back and forth through this song that's not very long, you know what I mean? Like it just felt
Yeah.
like the limitations were there. And a lot of that also is it's so comedy heavy rather than music heavy, the special. I feel like they were,
yes.
you know, and it's like get to the performances, get to, you know, so when like, you know, Puppet Man comes on, I'm like, yes,
Oh, I
fucking,
think Puppet Man, I was going to mention it as a standout musically.
yeah,
Yeah.
The Puppet Man, that sequence, visually and otherwise, is like kind of the highlight for me.
Yes.
It's a beautiful sequence. That also does kind of remind me of the Idea special, really. It reminds me of the Indian Gin and Whiskey Dryer, one of those things where, you know,
yes.
got kind of like some weird thing where they're just like, you know, this thing where they're like puppets, and then guess what? Plot twist, spoiler alert, Peter Max is the puppet.
He's the puppet master. He's pulling the strings, everybody.
I had to stop and take a breath when that happened, and I rewound it to make sure I could handle it because I was like, yeah, it was too much when that happened. I couldn't believe it. I just it was heavy. I did want to ask you what you thought about when Florence goes into the dollhouse and sings with the children. It's like a solo
I hate
piece.
that part. I hate that part. It's so weird. The close-ups of it's I mean it's like children's television workshops stuff, but I did not, it was disturbing to me. I don't know. I didn't like it. But that's not to take away from the enjoyment of me watching this. I
It's an
loved every
intense piece. Like she's having to sell this thing alone, flanked by children on the floor.
and Florence is pregnant at the time, so
She
it
was,
speaks yeah,
yeah.
it speaks to her. What did you think of that part? Florence's solo song, Rachel.
No, it's not. It's not my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we get two great Laura Nero songs here. I love "Marry Me, Billy." Is I think it's one of the greatest songs ever, and "Stone Soul Picnic" is amazing. Come on, you can't. Those are unfuckwithable tracks.
Yeah, 100%.
I do want to go back to the dollhouse though to say part of the thing I think you're feeling, Chalky, that I felt watching it was they would cut most of the children just seemed like they had snot running down their nose and their mouths were open. They looked like
Yeah,
I'm like,
disturbing.
these kids are ill or something. It was like it just had this really weird vibe of like, we just need to find a bunch of kids, put them in there, you know, like
The kids are cute. I don't want to talk shit on the kids.
I'm
They're
talking
fine.
shit. These
And
kids.
all these kids are older than I am at this point, so
Yeah,
I feel like I could talk shit.
But
No,
anyway,
no,
that's the part that hurt me. I was like,
you're saying the kids are nasty, okay? That's what you're saying.
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
fine.
Yeah,
You can say
yeah,
that.
and it just took
Your
me out
podcast.
because, like, again, it's a very that's also a very unpsychedelic moment of the piece. You know?
Yeah, I know. If you're on acid, you are bad tripping at that point.
Yeah,
Okay,
pretty
that
much.
is not a good.
Trip when you see, like, when you're questioning your entire like baseline of being a child and this
Yes.
having a nightmare, you know, like, yeah, that was a kind of a bummer. But the thing is, it happens really early on in the. I'm surprised it's so pushed so early, and yeah, those kids are. I'm going to do a whole 7 Up series about those kids. How many of those kids, by the way, how many of those kids like know David from Sesame Street personally?
Yeah, no, that was Ed Sullivan's neighbors and friends' kids, definitely. You know,
Bring your kids over. Put them on the green.
we need.
That's not. I'm not doing Ed Sullivan. I don't know who I'm doing, but anyway.
Listen, Fifth Dimension is almost all bangers. They were only around, Marilyn and Billy left it like, I think they were around for like 2 years or 3 years or something. So, but they
Oh,
have
that's short.
like, yeah, Rachel, as Rachel stated, they did so much. They were on so many TV shows, released so many songs, but it's mostly all bangers. I mean, it whatever your definition of banger is. If your definition of banger is middle of the road pop dreck from the 60s, then they're mostly all bangers. And I love the Fifth Dimension. I'm not talking shit. There's a time and a place for everything, and they're the most of that. When you need that kind of music, they're the best at it. But
what the world needs now is more Fifth Dimension. That's why I'm glad we're doing this episode.
I agree. Yeah.
And if this is going to be airing around Thanksgiving, if this is like
it's coming out on Thanksgiving.
Okay, so happy Thanksgiving, listeners.
Hey, everybody.
If you, like me, want to just sit it out and do something enjoyable and maybe, eat an edible or whatever you're going to do on Thanksgiving.
I was going to say, get really high, Rachel. Perfect.
Really high and watch the Fifth Dimension in any capacity. You can watch this, you can watch whatever, but it really right now will make you feel so much better about the world, I believe. And
yes,
you'll learn a new word, and that word is glass fault. Okay.
Oh my God. I had to look that up. That's real.
This is what happens when you throw your bottles. Listen, by the way, a litter campaign from anyone, I'm bringing that back. We got to bring that back. We need more litter campaigns. And
there's so much trash outside. People got to stop littering.
So outside of the glass bottle ban, which there are 2 commercials of, there's like 4 different types of spots. One is about a guy making a glass vase with like a Lou Reed voice talking about, what, the world, what glass means, on Earth. Then there's 2 littering ones, right? One's a couple and one's a bunch of kids coming in to do like a part. Well, that's not kids, it's just humans coming in to destroy a forest and leave it behind. And then there's this glass fault thing, which I was like, they're like basically like, glass makes everything better. See, even the road you drive on. And I'm like, glass fault? It seems like the worst idea ever.
Yeah. But fuck that couple, by the way. They're littering, and I don't like them at all.
Yeah, no, they're
thank you.
Bad vibes. It's a bad vibe. But I'm saying like the Fifth Dimension is the type of vibe that we need more of right this second. And so, I mean, we are inundated all day, every day with just the kind of trash that someone might throw out their window in litter. Like these people. This is like the world we literally inhabit every single day. And when you get into the Fifth Dimension, whether you're listening to them or watching them, there's a million YouTube clips, etc. It really makes you feel like the world is a beautiful place and that things are not as bleak as they seem. And it just reminds you of an entirely other corner of humanity. These are very spiritual people. There's no ego in the Fifth Dimension, and they all still like love each other.
Yes.
And they said in that special, we dumped politics very early on because we didn't all share the same thing. We were like, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna make it about music strictly, which is beautiful thing, and that they were able to, they're very, what were you going to say, Chaki?
I'm just saying, and they portray the possibility of something beyond and magic and happiness. And if we just sing music together, we can reach this magical beyond, and it gives you hope. And there's no band like that right now in pop music, Rachel. And you're right. We need a Fifth Dimension in our lives.
We just need a lot of that kind of energy. We need positive, like what are the possibilities? I always say this, and I try to do it in the things that I do as much as I possibly can. Like, what is a world that we can envision? Because if we can't envision that world, if our eyes are closed to it, or we're inundated with such negativity that we can't envision it, then we cannot manifest it. Not to sound woo, but like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You can't. And so that's why all of no matter what you consider psychedelic, whatever anybody considers psychedelic. I mean, this is on the nose psychedelia. But a pith helmet is psychedelic if you really want it to be. There are a lot of things that are like, I think these like littering commercials are more psychedelic than Peter Max, frankly.
Yes.
No, I kind of
see. I
agree.
get it.
I totally agree with that. There's
Yeah.
something that is so shockingly unsettling about those glass bottle commercials because they're done really well. They're super effective. And it's just like the tonality of it all. After an hour, you're like, I'm really like it just makes you kind of feel like, oh my God, is the world okay? Is the Glass Bottle Corporation, Institute going to save us? Because it's like they're all in on the message,
I miss a time when commercials made you feel weird and scared.
Yeah, that's true. They really did. But also there were a lot of and PSAs and the like. I mean, there are so many out there that are unsettling in a
Yeah.
weird way. Having said that, though, I do think that there was more money earmarked for aspirational or societal like PSAs, or the idea of actually just the idea of aspiration in advertising at all is something I like to talk about a lot, because it's very interesting to look at how analogous that is to, like, when the way that people wanted to be better, right? They wanted to be the guy who drank that scotch or had that hi-fi, and that was somebody to aspire to. And then it sort of switched to, I need to be superior to, the message was like, you at home are superior to this schlub, as opposed,
Interesting.
you know what I mean? And that is
Yeah.
exactly what happened in politics. Like the idea of like, I can have a beer with this guy. Well, you're not supposed to be equal to that. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to be intellectual. Like, this guy worked really hard and went to like a bunch of really fancy schools and studied and all this stuff. He has earned the right to be in a position. We're not all it shouldn't be this thing where like making people, what am I trying to say?
You're trying to say that the guy in the Viceroy commercial who has run out of cigarettes and his wife offers him one, he goes, no. And he goes into his pajamas to get his cigarettes.
Yeah,
That's what you're talking about. Or the
Yes.
commercial afterwards, which is Miller Beer, which is just more and more men are making their move to Miller. It's so weird to have those flanked at the beginning of this special to just show like where advertising was.
Without cigarette commercials, this special wouldn't have been made. So God bless the big tobacco and the tobacco industry, or else we wouldn't have the psychedelia nostalgia trips that we're having now. So thank you, cigarettes.
Yeah, thank you, cigarettes. And I love cigarette. You know that. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. We know you love cigarettes.
I thought the Viceroy one was cool because it was shot on video. So it looked almost like, did Ernie Kovac make this one? Because that's just like, it had a weird, like, everything is on film, and then all of a sudden this just really dry, brightly lit video commercial comes on. It was really odd.
that's such a good point. The commercial spots are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautifully shot and on film. And this special is hot. I mean, I know that this is a transfer that we're watching on this thing, but like, it's hot lights, it's video.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, not, it's funny that the set design and everything is so beautiful, but like, yeah, the lighting is really hot.
Yes, it's flat.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's part of the reason why the idea thing works with the Bee Gees a little better. It's on film. There's a grain to it. It feels like more work is put into it almost because of the lighting is just more glorious than on this. Like, yeah, it's weird. It feels like, as magnificent as some of these sets are in this special, sometimes the lighting made things look cheap. And I don't think it was, but it just,
No, yeah. It even looks worse in a restored 4K version.
oh, I bet.
There you go. I mean, the Wedding Bell Blues sequence, which I think is also up there with Puppet Man. I think in that sort of like,
I love that sequence.
yours is really beautiful. Like, I love that look. It's just exquisite. I mean, that kind of setup. It's just so simple and really effective. So that actually looked pretty good. The Puppet Man was lit pretty well because of the nature of it, because they're sort of set back. But
Yes.
everything else looked, it didn't do it any justice. It's like if you have a bunch of like artistic, gorgeous, backdrops and you put them in a Walmart, that's what that looks like to me.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And I feel like a lot of times their costumes and their outfits totally trumped any of the Peter Mac stuff that was going around them. I'd be like, "Oh my God, look at this tunic.
Yeah.
Look at those pants." It looked at that sweater vest. It was just like things like that were drawing my attention. And meanwhile, behind them is like, Glenn Campbell on, a psychedelic boat. But I'm just like, I've already seen that. Let's get back to the pants.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a special that is greater than the sum of its parts in some way.
Yes.
And then there's a lot of stuff you're going to have to sit through, just like anything. And Artie Johnson's one of those things. And I just want to say that I think one of the problems with this special right at the top, unfortunately, he's doing characters. By the way, I mean, he's doing his Wolfgang character, from very interesting. He was doing a lot of that, but right out the gate, there's like problematic like accent situation.
You might want to edit that one out if you're watching it with kids at home during Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Artie Johnson does get very racist for a second.
I was watching this in an airport to just do my research and take notes, and I was like, nope. I was like, closed it up. I was like, I cannot. I did it in public. I'm like, I'm not racist. I promise you.
It was a different time, Chris.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, Rachel, we talked about this. It was like, Peter Sellers was the high comedic, mark, and doing different voices, and he did the party, and all this stuff, and so. Artie Johnson is like a cheap, version of somebody trying to be like, I can be any type of person I want. But he's so tone deaf. He's not funny, and his accents suck.
Yeah, he does. But for context, he was the biggest. This is the height of Artie Johnson. Very interesting laughing. He's a huge star at this point. You know what I mean?
No, it's a whole thing, and because Laughing was really the best use for him in a way, because he was contextualized by a lot of other talent that sort of gave him lifted him up when you're in that kind of company with all of those people. And there were a lot of different, that cast is really interesting.
Yes.
And diverse, in terms of like where and what show business they're from,
Yeah.
And so certain things, it gives him a context that like whereas like someone like Joanne Worley comes in super hot or whatever, so then it makes what he does seem like a thing. But when you take it out of that context and you throw it into this thing where he's got to sort of support the scene on his own in a way with these sort of non-professional non-actors or whatever, it doesn't quite work. And and I think that might be one of the problems with his career, like in the long term. Like I think he made it to Laugh-In, and then post Laugh-In, it didn't. He did some stuff. I'm sure he did voice work.
In his defense, though, I bet it worked at the time, the night this aired, and they did not know that 60 years later there'd be some nerds talking about this thing. They thought that every dad who had it turned on was like, Artie Johnson, all right, I love him, very interesting. They were happy he was on. They were like, yeah, so I bet it worked at the time. It made audiences very happy to see that mediocre man on TV.
But it's so funny if you watch this compared to like Flip Wilson or Glenn Campbell or even Ed Sullivan or Tiny Tim popping in for like 10 seconds. Like Artie Johnson's energy, it just drops everything. He just doesn't seem to, anytime he's wheeled in to deliver a little bit of a line, he just seems like he doesn't want to be there, and everybody else seems invested. Am I wrong with that?
No, that is exactly
on the money.
I was gonna say it's like there's a really like dark cloud around his whole thing.
Yes. Yeah, there is.
And also, in the spectrum of hit me square, whatever, nothing's kind of worse than like literally in the first 10 seconds of the show, you've got this like racist trope where you're supposed to be like in this sort of peace, love, and everybody's like vibed out or whatever, could not be more of like just a complete black mark on the thing
Yeah.
right out the gate, where you're like, that doesn't really work with this at all. Like, his doing foreign accents. It's hard to sit through in any capacity, but like especially for something like this, and especially around the fifth dimension. Like, we don't want that vibe around them at all. It was a real misfire. It was a miscast. It's unfortunate. You know,
Who would have been better in the Artie Johnson role, Rachel? Who do you, if you were casting this? Well,
Alan
who would you pick?
Stutz. Like, if we're gonna pull someone from laughing, just like let's get a fun gay.
Yes, yes,
Alan
yes.
Sue's in like some suit coming in and just I just think of, like, something like that energy would have been really fun. There was nothing
Excellent. Yeah.
fun about it. I want somebody who's going to be like, have that energy and like enthusiasm. Like,
Be happy to be with the fifth dimension, okay? You're lucky to be with them, Artie Johnson.
yes, I know. Or Joanne Worley, I just brought her up. Like, she would be
she'd be
fun.
great.
Like, I mean, somebody fun. Artie Johnson's not fun. He didn't match the backdrops. Like, you have to have somebody who kind of like,
Yeah.
Joey Heatherton was great, right? Like,
She got it. She got it.
She was great. And also, Artie Johnson is like sitting in almost every role he does. You're just like, okay, he couldn't even be. He's like, I'm not standing for the fifth dimension. Yeah, you do. You want somebody who's going to tell the fifth dimensions, hold hands, and then I'm going to take you and we're going to fly through the air. That's kind of what you want in this. And Artie Johnson is just grounds you.
Artie Johnson's not like, I don't want to see him on some kind of magic carpet or whatever, or like do.
Yes.
I want to see his little.
I want to see Rip Taylor in the balloon with them, throwing confetti off the balloon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it, Rachel, that whenever we get together, we always find the common enemy. It was Peter Lawford in the Hollywood Palace, where like he sucks, and now and then we're just like, yeah, all of us are like Artie Johnson.
Yeah, because he ruins it. I mean, he legitimately ruins it for me.
He does.
Yeah.
He spoils the whole thing.
I have to watch like one eye closed to just like get him out of the frame. You know what I mean? And just put a.
Luckily, the glass bottle saves the whole thing, people. Please watch this special.
Glass
it's
bottles
worth it.
moment. And this is their pepper. Okay. This is the glass bottles. This is their moment. Honestly, I'm here for the glass bottle mostly. Glass bottle, then the fifth dimension, then that 5 seconds of Liberace, and that's it.
I did find a book also, Rachel, The Story of Glass Container Manufacturer Institute. It's an actual book.
Oh, that sounds like a great
Chapters include bottles, mysterious messengers of the sea, and bottles and jars, the story of the glass containers of our lives.
This is the greatest thing ever.
I knew. I had to find it in my time. I was like, I gotta find those for Rachel because, oh my God, did I ever tell you about my experience of seeing the play Hair when I was a kid, the musical?
Mm-mm.
Did you get balls like on your face or something?
Well, the first time I went with my parents to see it, there were no balls in my face.
Good.
The second time we went and we took my grandparents to see it with us, there were balls in our face. And I still remember the car ride home, the silence, and me being like at like maybe 7 years old, 8, seeing my first naked bodies, and just being like, I'm here with my grandparents. This feels uncomfortable. I don't know how to process this. And then the quiet. Because I loved, as a child, that soundtrack. I would put it on and I knew all the songs from the record, and I would put on a show, even not knowing what it was about. So I would sing, the songs about cunnilingus. I'd sing about, LSD, PCP, and my parents would just sit there and watch their child perform Hair. Side 1 mostly. I'd get tired by side 2 in its entirety with no context. So that's my connection with Let the Sunshine In.
Do you still like it? Do you still ever rock it?
I think those songs are great. I have a soft spot for Hair. And also, the Fifth Dimension really made that song their own. And it's just like, again, that's a really, when that song comes on, it is healing, Rachel. You're right. It is like, there's something that is, you're like, I think things are going to be okay. It sounds so naive, but every time I hear it, it feels right.
Here's the thing about that song. And by the way, the story he tells in that UCLA thing where he talks about losing his wallet, and that's how they got connected up with doing that song, the doing Aquarius in the first place. But the story of how that song was recorded and how it was arranged and the way that they basically fused the two songs together, in my view, is one of the greatest moments in music, is that fusion of the two, the time signature changing there.
Yeah.
And
Ooh,
and
so emotional. Ooh.
it's Hal Blaine and it's Joe Osborne on bass, who is walking up the stairs, down the stairs, all around the block. Like, that bass line is so amazing. So the combination of that, when they get into the Let the Sunshine In, I'm getting chills. When they go into that mode and Joe Osborne's like all over the map, and and Billy is like on his own trip completely, and just as they say, like, he took it to church or whatever. That's what Bones Howe told him to do, church or whatever. And I do think that there is something extreme. I mean, that to me is one of the greatest moments of
Yeah.
all.
I'm with you. I'm so with you. On the money.
Yeah. So by the time, so I do think that there is something very healing about it. And at the end of this show, even the traumas that we endured via Artie Johnson, I feel very healed by.
Yes.
It's like all the way going back to childhood up to this very day, watching
Yes.
Artie Johnson be racist. I feel very, you feel amazing going out.
Yeah. And the great voiceover of him being like, Frank Sinatra Jr. and Henry Morgan visit Merv Griffin later tonight. It just takes you out. You're like, oh, right. This is where the reality is. The Jim Neighbor Hour will return next Thursday at its regular time on these stations. You're like, okay.
Long, but not for long. What a moment. What a moment in time. Like, Frank Sinatra Jr. is coming up tonight on Merv Griffin. What are we doing with us? What do we
I know.
now?
What
What we've lost?
could you imagine just like a cultural thing where it'd be like, okay, on NBC, like on prime time, like a TV station, like a regular TV station, an hour-long special of your favorite band right now. There's going to be comedians and actor and stuff like it. It's going to be a sensation. And you're like, all right, it's just, that's what Program 4 is for.
I was just going to say, like, would somebody give me a money, please? Like,
yes, let's talk about this, Rachel.
what?
So, okay. You've made so much endless joy for us for years now with Program 4 and Easy AM 66.
Yeah.
In terms of just like, you make new stuff, but we devour it. I will put links into this. Everyone listening probably already has seen what Rachel's done. But would you describe to anyone who hasn't visited your world yet what you're doing and what the future holds for Program 4?
Okay, so if you don't know what Program 4 is, it is basically almost like an interdimensional kind of analog signal that brings you a lot of sort of otherworldly multiverse entertainment that is very groovy and very fun, but also somewhat banal in this same way. Like Fast Company, you know what I mean? Like, there's everything's like local businesses and local weird people who nobody knows who they are. In this town are everything. Sense of self-importance, So Program 4 is basically television. It's like almost like a UHF television show, a station, and there's also a beautiful music station called Easy AM 66, which is an audio comedy audio series, scripted series, of which there are 3 episodes. the third one was released as a album on Bandcamp, and I pressed vinyl for it. And those are all out. Yeah. So anyway, but you can still buy the digital download, and you can watch Program 4 as it stands for now at program4.tv. But pretty soon, in the new year, the website is going to change, and the way that I've been working on a new, basically half hour of Program 4, and so I'm attaching it to the first part, which is going to be edited a little bit differently. And Program 4 is going to be something that you will be able to see out in the world. No longer,
Yes.
it no longer be on the internet. You will have to see it in person via all kinds of screenings that are going to happen. I'm going to
Yes.
We'll be touring with it. Yeah, so it's basically going to be an hour and a half with the first part, and then the Mark II. Okay, and then and then I'll be there with it. So I'm going to be doing that on a number of different levels. There will be larger shows with special guests who will that almost look like an affiliate presentation with stars and
upfronts
for Program 4. Guest Rhodes guy in a Rhodes, this type of thing, a very kind of immersive thing. There will be a raffle where we can win really weird groovy stuff that I'm going to make that's like to the network. I'm basically taking the analog feeling of this place, and I'm providing an equally analog context. But what's important to me with this is that I reconnect with the idea of community and connected experiences, which was one of the great things about linear television, right? So
yes.
I just really believe that culturally, it is time for me anyway to make that change. So everything's going to be in a room, wherever that may be. There will be more
amazing.
Come
how exciting
that is going to be. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for this.
And I love it because it's going to be so experiential, and city to city, it's going to be like different parameters, right? Like you will scale it depending on what's going on.
Exactly. I will scale it. Like some of the shows will basically be like rumpus room party shows where like there'll be cheese balls and Harvey Wildbangers, and people can come and like
people are gonna come dressed up so cool to your events. I'm so excited to see the fashions. Is what
I want to do one. You know what? We need to do one where you are and have you host it basically and do a whole thing.
Done and done.
Done and super great. So like there's going to be the level where like, hey, if you've got like 20, 25, 30 of your friends and you want to like, I'm going to have a project, I'm going to do it like that. And it's going to be really fun, like a groovy kind of
so cool
show.
Get your leisure suits dry clean now, people. The Program 4 tour is coming to your town.
That smell out. So just go take them in now. But then there's going to be a lot of really interesting venues, festivals, and theaters, and stages. I'm looking at a number of different tiers. My hope is that I just basically am out with this thing kind of all next year. And
amazing.
Very cool. So cool.
Yeah, and
awesome. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Fun?
Yeah. And you're going to be amazing. In Portland. We are going to do this together.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Yes, me either.
Congratulations on that. And Chaki, I'm going to see you in Portland next month. You are
I'm so excited.
Part of Kevin McDonald of Kids in the Hall's Superstar, his rock opera.
As you with hair, that was me with Jesus Christ Superstar as a kid. Okay, this little Jewish boy was putting on his own production in his room of Jesus Christ Superstar because it rocks. And this is Kevin McDonald's version of he's Jesus in it. But I'm so excited. I'm playing the recently canceled Scott Thompson. Come on out,
yes,
December 12th. To the Clinton Street Theater in Portland. Me and Chris, we're going to be partying with Kevin McDonald, the Kids in the Hall. I'm so excited.
Yeah, Scott McCoy of Minus
Oh
Five
my God,
and REM is in it. Denim Wedding's part of it. Just a really amazing cast, and it is almost sold out.
Get your tickets now. Only a couple tickets left, people.
But yeah, it'll be great. Chalky and myself in the same city.
In the same theater.
Yeah, oh my God, I forgot about that. In the same row.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and Chalky, you're working on new music too, right?
I have a new record coming out in January. So stay tuned for that. New record coming out in January on High Culture Record, a 12-inch record. And I'll also be appearing at SF Sketchfest in January. So come on out to San Francisco, please.
Is Fuck Ice on the record?
No, I didn't, because it takes a long time to press records. So that's a new song. I have a new song with Elvez. It's called Fuck Ice. Look for that too, everybody.
Yeah, I want that on a maxi single with different people remixing that.
Okay.
I want a 3 Fuck Ice.
Can you get me a Peter Buck remix of Fuck Ice to happen?
I don't know. Yes, I could.
No.
Yeah, he'll do it. But I was thinking more of like a
One called I'm doing the B-side. It's called Fuck Artie Johnson.
Please. Okay, done and done.
All right. So the 5th Dimension special, on a scale of 1 dimension to 75 dimensions, what do you give this special?
I'll go first. Despite its drawbacks, like I said before, Rachel, I know you have. Chris, I'm sure you have. I've sat through a lot of these variety shows. There's a lot of them. Pretty much every celebrity you could think of has them. And the Telly Savalas one is the worst one. That's like 0 dimensions to me. Oh my God, it's terrible.
0 dimensions. Okay.
Yeah. I like Sonny and Cher ones. Those are like higher, and I got to watch this Bee Gees one. So, but this is better than average. It's a magical. Could be the power of the 5th dimension overpowers the drawback. So I give it 60 dimensions.
I was going to give it 60. Also, I agree with you. I think that they transcend it, and you're there for them, and
yes,
they're there for you.
Well, 60 is the right answer. As you can see, that's what I had written down here. 2 60s. You're right. It's full of dimensions.
Yes.
Maybe you could come back and do the Telly Savalas special with us sometime, Rachel.
I will do that any day.
It's painful, but it's fun painful. It's like after the end, you're like, oh, I got through something. It's like a psychological nightmare.
I love you both.
Love you too, Chris.
Thank you for spending this early holiday time with me.
Good to see you, Rachel. This was so cool. And thank you to the 5th Dimension. I want to thank Marilyn, Billy, Florence, Lamont, and Ronald. I think I got them all.
Yep.
What a band.
Absolutely.
We are better humans for having known them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And everyone go out and listen to the 5th Dimension wherever you are on this Thanksgiving.
And let the sun shine.
Let the sun shine.
Thank you for listening to Revolutions Per Movie. We release new episodes every Thursday on your favorite podcast app and additional bonus episodes every Sunday on our Patreon. The show is a completely independent affair, so the best way to support the show is through our Patreon at patreon.com/revolutionspermovie, where you can get weekly bonus episodes and shows, exclusive limited edition flexi discs and records and CDs featuring guests that have appeared on the show, and other exclusive goods sent to you just for joining. You can follow us on social media at Revolutions Per Movie and also find out more information about our various guests in the episode show notes. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week. Bye.